All right, guys, this time we are going to create a vision board regarding hair structures and the inspiration behind it that's going to inspire our hairstyles and haircuts. So first things first, I'm going to look up some inspirational photos about building structures that I feel like that are more inviting to me and creative to get my creative mind going to make me wonder, how can I make this something I want to create? And I first noticed this picture right here in the middle. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's glass and it kind of looks like waterfalls and I think it's amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and crop this photo and I'm going to save it because I really, really like it. It reminds me of wet hair and the way it's styled going back like a faux hawk or like if someone was coming out of a pool of water and the hair just float really nicely. So I'm going to take this image and save it to my mood board. I'm going to create a board. Let's call it hair inspo or structure. Let's call it structure inspo. Oh, who can't spell structure? It's me. Here we go. And we are going to be inspired by building structures today. So this is my image. It's beautiful, glass, and it kind of looks like wet hair. So let's say if I had someone with wet hair, let's look it up, see what we got. Now we all know the Kardashians tried to make the wet hair look popular. So let's see who we find. Oops, looks like we have one. All right. It says how to style lobs and bobs. Celeb inspo, all the celeb inspo you need. Well, looks like all the celeb inspo we need is Khloe Kardashian. So I think she looks like my structure, so I'm going to save her and put those right next to each other. Let's look up some more inspiration. This time, let's look up some unique buildings, some cool business modules. Now, some of these buildings will look familiar because in my presentation earlier, I typed in some of the same things to try to see what I can find with some of these unique, edgy, cool type buildings like this one. It looks familiar, right? I'm Mark Simpson. So let's keep going. Let's see what we find. Looking. Are you looking with me? Are you guys trying to find some unique buildings with me while we build this mood board? Let's see. Anything stands out? Anything at all? Ooh, look at this swirly thing. That looks cool. Oh, what about this one? It reminds me of the Titanic. I love it. All right, so let's go ahead and capture this one. I'm gonna take notice of this photo. I love it. Can you guess what this reminds me of? Or should you even think what this reminds you of? Because I think this is a really good depiction of a hairstyle or a haircut. It's definitely short in the back and longer in the front, so that means it's a triangular shape, so that's cool. So let's go ahead and pin this one. I like it a lot. So let's see what we got. I already have an idea of what I'm gonna look for, and I'm gonna type that in because I think a men's mohawk style would mirror this pretty accurately. So let's go for that. This is so much fun. See, your inspiration doesn't have to be drawn solely out of hair magazines or something that somebody's already created. You can literally walk down the street or in your house or apartment or in your car or just see something cool and be inspired by it. Now, what about this one? It goes right up in the front, which is super cool. It kind of reminds you of the building structure. I'm going to pin this one. I think that one's really nice. It tapers down below. Let's find some more building infrastructures that will give us cool hairstyles. Yeah, like I was saying, you don't have to be inspired just by something that someone else already have created. You know, inspiration can come from so many things. Even cooking. Sometimes when I'm cooking, I'm thinking like, oh, this will be cool. You know, or sometimes hair would inspire my next food, food meal or menu. So certain things just kind of go together. But if you try to provoke, cool thoughts or creative thoughts, and keep those things in the forefront of your mind when you're trying to create something new or different, especially if you're like a person that likes to compete in different like hair expos or just try to push the envelope with your techniques, especially with cutting. It'll be so cool. Now look at this. Oh my gosh, what does it remind you of? Instantly I thought of something. So let's go ahead and pin this. That's some cool spikes, right? Okay, let's see. I'm wondering if anybody else has the same thought process as I. Because this is the first thing I thought about when I saw those spikes coming out of the water. Poor unfortunate souls. So let's go ahead and pin her. See, inspiration's just coming out of everywhere. Up next, let's look for some more inspiring buildings. So I want you guys in the future to just keep your eyes open. Things that's unique, things that's eye-catching, things that you even run across every day, and you might give it a second look or a glance over like, sometimes those things that you want to take a picture of, and maybe it'll come back to you later, or maybe it's just something that you want to kind of keep in the forefront of your mind so that way you can use later. It's always good to be inspired by new, different things. And like I said before, if you're in competitions or if you like to do things like that, like hair shows and stuff, people want to see something unique, something that somebody hasn't probably thought of or thought of in that way. So, let's see. Oh, some of these buildings are outrageous. I don't even know if I would like to see some of these in person. I'm so afraid of heights. Let's see. Oh, these are cool. Look at that guitar building. Crazy, right? Oh, look at this. What does this remind you of? Oh, I have an idea. Instantly, I'm thinking like, oh, I know what this reminds me of. Let's see. Your mood board doesn't always have to be so easy to read. Sometimes just taking like creative pieces from other places, things like texture, like fabric or some type of swatch that you can use on your mood board just to kind of make it all make sense or be that glue to bring things together. Those make great, excellent mood boards. I have a degree in fashion design and merchandising, and when we had to do a class specifically on merchandising, we created tons and tons and tons of mood boards or vision boards, and we had to have tons of items to glue these things together. So even though it seemed like really random, if the color meant something in the color story, or if the fabric meant something in the story, it was important. And when it all came together, it created these beautiful stories or mood boards, and it gave you the feel of I'm already there, or I feel like I'm part of this story. So when you're creating a vision board, even though we're doing one, online right now or through an app, if you were to create one on poster or paper, take a picture of it. I would love to see it, just so that way we could have an idea of what you're doing, and that you understand how a vision board or mood board works. But these boards work amazingly for getting prepped for like a show or a competition or something like that. Isn't this cool? This is a really cool building. I love how it's exposed on the outside, and it's very asymmetrical. So I'm going to go for a symmetrical look. Look at these hairstyles. Wow. People are really great. Look at this purple and orange. Coyote. Let's see. Which one should we pick? They're all so lovely. Let's go very classic. What about her? hair is very perfect for this situation. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Now I'm trying to find my place, actually. I'm trying to see where I can find my pins because sometimes I get lost in this app and I'm trying to see where all my visuals are so I can snapshot it because I'm very excited that we created this board together and I want to be able to look at it and understand what's going on. That my inspiration is coming from my structures and the hair photos that I chose goes right along with it. So, found it. Let's see. Structure inspo, and here we are. Look at our vision board. Look how cool that is. And the photos match with the images, and we've created a vision board just that fast. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoy your next activity. Alright guys, we are going to fold some origami. Origami is very interesting and it's pretty cool since we're discussing shapes right now. We're going to make our own shape. Today we're going to create an origami heart. In order to do so, you're going to need a perfect square. So I have a normal sheet of paper, I think it's like an 8x11 or 8x11 and a half or something like that. Regular plain sheet of white paper. I'm going to fold it like you would a sailboat and I'm going to cut off the excess. This is going to give me a perfect square. All right, nice and perfect. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna take my bottom edges and I'm gonna fold them in half hamburger style. I'm gonna make a nice crease down the center. Now I'm gonna open it again and I'm gonna fold it hot dog style. Basically, I'll make it 4 corners. I'm gonna make sure I crease it nicely. Now I have 4 squares. Next, I'm gonna take this corner edge. I'm gonna fold it up into the center. Right up to the line and give it a crease. And turn my paper over, making sure that it's nice and flat. And I'm gonna take this back corner and I'm gonna fold this up to the center as well and increase. I'm gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. Go ahead and crease, nice. You should have something that looks like this. I'm going to flip my paper over. And at this point, I'm going to take my corner, my outer corner, and just fold it in half up into the center division line and crease. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Give it a nice crease. It should look something like this. Now, excuse me, I'm going to take the edge of the envelope or the paste paper, and I'm going to fold this to the center line as well, giving it more of a straight angle, creating a triangle shape. So I'm taking the bottom corner and I'm folding it up to the center line. I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Now, you should have a paper that looks similar to this. Make sure your creases are nice and firm. And we're going to fold a little bit more. I'm going to take the two opposite ends of the diamond shape and fold them in half. However, I'm going to open up the flaps and crease inside of the flaps. So you see I'm pressing firmly on the inside of the flaps and leaving the flaps open. It should look very similar to this. Now, I'm going to press my flaps down, giving them a nice crease. Perfect. I'm going to fold this flap inside of the next flap, the one that's laying under it. So I'm going to take this flap, or this point, I'm going to tuck it away inside of this flap. Perfect. This is going to give it more of a three-dimensional instead of just a flat or maybe a two-dimensional. Now I'm going to flatten my flaps. And now we're going to fold a little bit more so we can make more of an accurate heart shape. At the tip, I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold this down like an envelope. So I'm folding my corners in. And I'm going to do it once more. Two corners and I'm going to fold them down once more. Now we have a heart. Good job, guys. All right, guys, for this activity, what we're going to do is fill out part of our learning center. We're going to make a visual learning center, but first we have to understand what we're doing. So we're going to fill out the phases of a haircut and make a phases of a haircut learning center. So we know the first phase is create a basic shape, and we all know what the basic shapes are. So I'm going to choose a color, and we're going to write in what these basic shapes are. Our basic shapes are, there you go, square, round, and what's the last one? Triangle. You got it right. Good job, guys. All right. So first thing we do is create our basic shape, and secondly, we want to cross-check. So we're going to cross-check. And how often should we cross-check our sections? When we cross-check, we want to cross-check every 2 to 3 sections. Good job, guys. You guys are on a roll. Understanding the phases of a haircut is very important because you're always going to use this at any given point, at any given time, whether if you're a future professional or behind the chair. So Throughout the haircut, you want to make sure you cross-check every 2 to 3 sections. This is very important, and it just helps you guys stay consistent whenever you are performing salon services. Next up, we're going to blow dry, and what's important about blow drying is understanding the techniques and understanding the systems. So we have different pre-dries and we have different finishes. So let's talk a little bit about, we're going to do pre-dry round wrap. Excuse me, we also have pre-dry directional. We have our flat wrap, we have our round brush, we have our leafing, and our beveling. So all of these are very important when it comes to pre-drying. Pre-drying is essential to make sure that you get a nice dry base, you get the movement that you're looking for at the base, and then at the ends, complement whatever you did at the top, and that the hair looks great. Remember, you do not always have to use hot tools to finish out a service. Blow drying hair can be a service in itself. They have blow dry bars that cost a lot of money that people love to spend their money in. So next, we have refinement. And refinement can mean a lot of things. So one part of refinement can mean texturizing. Another part could be point cutting. So these are two very important parts of refinement. Another one could be face framing. This is all part of refinement, making sure that the end result is personalized, it's customized, it's beautiful. Another part of refinement. Okay. Now we are going to move on to our style and finish. Style and finish. A lot of times for our style and finish, we just mentioned it, we do our round brush finish, because that's definitely a finish technique, which never fails. It's always beautiful, right? Leafing and beveling are finish techniques. And also, hot tools. And we have various hot tools for our finishing techniques. And I'm sure you have your own of which ones that you prefer the most. And that's okay to have a preference. All right, now that we've done the reading part of our learning center, we want to make sure that we add our visuals, because some people are visual learners and they just want to see, hey, I want a quick glance at this so I can make sure that I'm on the right track. So let's find some visuals to correlate with our learning center for our phases of a haircut. So first thing is square, round, and triangle. Oh my gosh. And I found square, round, and triangle all in one box. So I'm really excited about this. I thought I was gonna have to do 3 individuals, but for some reason they hang out together outside of phases of a haircut. So let's go ahead and group these 2 to 3 together and place these on our vision board. Love that. So I'm going to screenshot this and save it to my photos so that way I can bring it up later. All right, now let's talk about checking our work. And I remember in math class when the teachers always like, show your work. And even though you might know how to do it in your head, they like for you to show your work. So you have to go back and write it all out and explain it. And I understand that now because with haircutting, you can easily miss something and you can be 1 digit off and that haircut can throw off the whole haircut. So let's show our work. Let's do this one. I like this one. Keep calm and show your work, because we want you to stay calm throughout your haircut and show us you know what you're doing. So let's keep calm and show our work. I'm so excited. I wonder what your vision boards are going to look like. Next, after we cross-check, we want to blow dry. So let's look up a cool blow drying service. Something that just lets you know when the glance of an eye that you can tell that this person is getting a nice blowout. So let's find one. Oh, what about this one? I like it. Let's clip. And we're going to hurriedly box this one in. And now we've got a blow dry service. And after blow dry, we refine. So we want to look for, I'm going to look for some face framing because I like that part of refinement. Face framing could be, oh wow, look at this. Face framing, and then we're face framing cabinets. No, let's face frame a hairstyle or haircut. So let's find someone who's getting a wonderful face frame and is very happy with it. So what about this one? She looks happy with her little face frame. So let's go ahead and screenshot her. And save her to our photos. And we're gonna add her to our vision board. Okay, done. And lastly, we need a nice, beautiful finish. What about this one? So for this one, we use Hot Tools, obviously. All right, guys, here you have it. This is our end result. This is our learning center for our phases of a haircut. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this activity.